Hi there, I'm Jason, and you're watching
Jason! 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 Jason!
What is the product when we square this trinomial 3x plus 4y plus 5z? Is it letter A, x squared plus y squared plus z squared plus 12xy plus 15xz plus 20yz? Or letter B, x squared plus y squared plus z squared plus 24xy plus 30xz plus 40yz? Or letter C, 9x squared plus 16y squared plus 25z squared plus 12xy plus 15xz plus 20yz? Or is it letter D, 9x squared plus 16y squared plus 25z squared plus 24xy plus 30xz plus 40yz? What is your answer? So in order for you to answer this particular question in a short period of time or in just less than a minute, you just actually need to familiarize the pattern, this one. So this is one of the special products, particularly the square of trinomial. So say for example, you are going to square this trinomial a plus b plus c, then its answer will be, so the first term of its answer will just be the square of the first term plus the square of the second term, so this is the second term of the answer, and then plus the square of the third term, plus twice the product of the first term and the second term, plus twice the product of the first term and the last term, and then plus twice the product of the second term and the last term. So basically, these are just the patterns. So these are just the things that you need to familiarize with in order for you to answer such question directly. So for you to understand this pattern deeply, I am going to show you this example. So say for example, we have here, we are going to square this trinomial a plus 2b plus 3c. So again, the first step that you need to do is just to square the first term. So let's gonna square the first term, a quantity a squared, and then plus the square of the second term, so 2b quantity 2b squared, and then plus the square of the third term, which is 3c2, so quantity 3c squared. So mao ni sila ang mga patterns kani a squared, b squared, c squared. So these are these three, and then we are going to twice the product of the first term and the second term. So 2 times a times 2b. So 2 times a times 2b. So mao ni ang product of the first term and the second term, and then multiply pa dyan na nato by 2, and then plus twice the product of the first term and the last term, and then lastly we're going to twice the product of the second term and the last term na po. And then after that, we are going to simplify this. So we're just going to simplify this na. So a squared, that's a squared. So quantity a squared, that's a squared, and then quantity 2b squared, that's gonna be 4b squared, and then plus the quantity of 3c squared, that's 9c squared, and then 2a times 2b, or 2 times a times 2b, that's 4ab, and then 2 times a times 3c, that's 6ac, and then plus 2 times 2b times 3c, that's 12bc. And this is now our answer for this particular given. So that's just basically how you do it, how you square a trinomial. So this time, let's try to answer the question of the day. So we're going to square this trinomial 3x plus 4y plus 5z. So again, the first step is just to square the first term. So quantity 3x squared plus the square of the second term plus the square of the third term plus twice the product of the first term and the second term plus twice the product of the first term and the last term, and plus twice the product of the second term and the last term. So and then we are going to simplify this further. So quantity 3x squared, that's gonna be 9x squared, and then quantity 4y squared, that's gonna be 16y squared, and then quantity 5z squared, that's gonna be 25z squared, and then 2 times 3x plus 4y, that's 24xy, and then 2 times 3x times 5z, that's gonna be 30 xz, and then 2 times 4y times 5z, that's gonna be 40yz. So this is now our final answer. So ingana ra siya ka dali ansiran. So therefore, the answer of the question of the day for this particular given is letter D. 9x squared plus 16y squared plus 25z squared plus 24xy plus 30xz plus 40y squared. Alright? Now this time, let's try to find the product of this given example wherein the operation is subtraction na sad. So instead of addition, what if subtraction ang ani? So the same thing, all we just have to do is just to follow this pattern. So again, we are going to square the first term. So quantity 5q squared, and then plus the square of the second term. So you also consider the sign or the operation here. So mo na imong ibutang ani. So quantity negative 4r squared, and then plus the square of the third term. So quantity negative 3s squared, and then plus the product of the first term and the second term. So the first term and the second term plus twice the product of the first term and the last term, and then lastly plus the product of the second term and the last term. And then we are going to simplify them further. So quantity 5q squared, that's gonna be 25q squared, and then plus quantity negative 4r squared. So negative 4 squared, that's gonna be positive because negative times negative is positive. So that's gonna be positive 16r squared, and then plus the quantity of negative 3s squared. So that's gonna be positive 9s squared. So take note of the sign here or the operation. So it's positive because when you square negative numbers, the answer is always positive. And then you are going to multiply them. So 2 times 5q times negative 4r. So positive times negative, that's going to be negative. So that's why we're going to put minus here. And then 2 times 5, that's 10 times 4, that's 40qr. Just copy the variables. And then we are going to simplify this. So 2 times 5q times negative 3s. So that's going to be 30qs. And then we have plus 2 times negative 4r times negative 3c. So that's going to be positive 24rs. So why positive? Because this is positive times negative 4r, that's gonna be negative 8r. Negative 8r times negative 3s, so negative times negative, that's positive 24r squared. And then, since we do not have any terms which we could combine them as one, so wala naman tada ni makombine. So this is now our final answer. So the answer for this particular given quantity 5q minus 4r minus 3s squared is 25q squared plus 16r squared plus 9s squared minus 40qr minus 30qs plus 24rs. Alright? I hope that you have learned this pattern deeply. So this time, because according to psychologists, so you will be able to learn this and understand a certain concept or topic if you are going to practice this. So this time, I want you to try this one. Try to find the product when we square this trinomial 2m minus 3n plus 5. And then you may comment your answer in the comment section below. That's all for now. Thank you, more power, and let's keep learning.